going on, VC? It's me, Kale. I kind of feel obligated to preface this video by making a introduction of sorts for those who don't know or don't remember me for good reason. I used to post videos here probably 5 or 6 years ago, somewhat regularly. I've since deleted all those videos. I'm not looking back on them. I'm not really too impressed with what I had to say about the music or kind of how I presented myself. Anyways, that's unnecessary information. So yeah, I stopped making videos. I wasn't really in the financial state to be spending the big bucks on records. So still, I'm talking about the present day. I'm not quite in the financial state to be spending big bucks on records, but I have been because I don't know, I've just caught the bug again, and I've been watching lots of VC stuff, and it's getting me hyped to look for records, and so that's what I've been doing. Yeah, so probably for about the last 6 months or so, I've been hitting thrift stores quite regularly and quite hard, so I've got some good stuff to show, I think. Yeah, so I won't talk any further about that. Let's see the music. In the background, if you can hear it, I'm playing some Lunar Womb. This is black metal adjacent fantasy keyboard music. It's dungeon synth. I hesitate to call it dungeon synth sometimes. I don't know. It just be like that. But yeah, this is written, composed, and played solely by Henry Sorvali. And so he was the keyboard player, if I'm not mistaken. He probably did guitars as well for the band Moonsorrow. They were like for those who don't know, kind of like a folk metal, black metal sort of band from Finland. They're quite good, a little proggy too. I think, not that they sound like Opeth or anything, but I think fans of Opeth would probably be into Moonsorrow as well. Similar kind of. They're not the same, but equally as good and equally as proggy. So anyways, here's the records. This first one has been a major want for a long time. This is Hawkwind Space Ritual, and it's an original British pressing on United Artists. As you can see, the sleeve is pretty beat, but I found this in someone's shed locally, so I'm not gonna leave that behind under any circumstances. The records play with a bit of noise, so it's not like this isn't probably gonna be my lifetime keeper, but for now it does the trick for sure, because I just have never run into this, whether it be a domestic pressing or a British one. It seems to be hard to find, especially in my neck of the woods. So yeah, Space Ritual. This is really good. It's kind of the text for space rock, if you want to call it that. It's pretty legendary and a VC favorite for a reason. It's got Lemmy on bass, of course. And yeah, just long, trippy songs. Pretty loud and driving, and yeah, this is essential listening for the prog guys and the psych guys, and yeah, it's a classic. Okay. This one I found when I was living in Vancouver. Found in a record store for I think it was like 20 bucks or 30 bucks maybe. This is Gilgamesh, their debut, and this has members who were active in the Canterbury scene. I believe Alan Gowan. I think Alan Gowan played in National Health. Don't quote me on that. National Health or Hatfield in the North, one of those bands. Anyways, yeah, this is pretty shreddy Canterbury scene, jazzy prog, and it's good stuff. It's on Caroline. So the imprint of Virgin Records there. Yeah, and this is it's good stuff. I just felt like showing this one. I don't know. I saw it on the shelf and said, hey, I definitely bought this one in the during my absence from the VC, so may as well show it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Great cover too. It's like snakes and ladders, but you know, it's like you probably can't read that, and I don't really feel like explaining the whole thing, but yeah, it's definitely like, we're a working band. These are our trials and tribulations. Yeah. Piano out of tune. Go back one space. Yeah. Good stuff. Definitely for the fans of National Health. But if you're a fan of National Health, you probably already have that. Okay. This one I got locally. This is Ptarmigan. I had notified my local record store guy that I was hunting after this one. And he sold me his personal copy of it because he didn't really care for it. So yeah, very happy on that one. This is local somewhat. I think these guys were from Vancouver, and so they have a track called Vancouver, track 3, side 1. And yeah, this is like trippy folk. Yeah, it doesn't really rock out too much. It's pretty folky, but psychedelic as well. It reminds me of like Tim Buckley, less avant-garde and weird than Tim Buckley got, but pretty solid record nonetheless. And there's some long tracks. Yeah, it's good stuff. Produced by Paul Horn. So, and I wouldn't say it's indicative of Paul Horn's like solo material. It's kind of its own thing. It's cool. Yeah, definitely keep your eye out for this one, especially if you're in like British Columbia for whatever reason. You can find this one, but it does go for some money. This one here I found in the local Salvation Army, which was very stoked to find this. This is Ben Bogart, along with his brothers, Rick, Archie. Yeah, Rick and Archie are his brothers. They kind of had a family band. I want to say the Bogarts were from Indonesia. I feel bad if I'm wrong about that one, but I want to say they're from Indonesia, and they came to Canada. I don't know the whole story really. This is like a private press thing, and there's not a ton of info on the internet about this, but yeah, this was pressed kind of in my neck of the woods, Kamloops, so that's a bit south from where I'm at. But yeah, this is pretty cool, like kind of singer-songwriter with a band, with a backing band, and yeah, it gets described online as psychedelic. There's like 1 or 2 tracks on here that are a little trippy, and they're very good. The first track, Adderley, is really nice on side 1, and then UFO, track 4 on side 1. They're great little tracks, and yeah, I found myself spinning this a lot in the mornings. It's really good stuff. Definitely keep your eye out for this. Again, if you're in BC, or Alberta as well, you know, Western Canada, maybe Washington even, I don't know. You could probably find this somewhere. It's good stuff. Ben Bogart. Yeah, so that's Salvation Army. I'll have more to say about Salvation Army in a bit, but for now, I got this one on eBay. Haven't been doing a ton of like online shopping in the last few years, but this came up on eBay for a pretty reasonable price. It's Duke Pearson Sweet Honeybee on Blue Note, and this is an original mono. Yeah, this is my first like original Blue Note pressing, and I'm quite pleased with it. It's maybe not like as hard boppy as, you know, some of the more desirable Blue Notes get. It does seem a bit orchestrated, if that's the right word. I don't know, but yeah, there's a few kind of like boogie tracks that are not not really for me, but it does get going. It's got Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, James Spaulding, he plays sax and flute, and then Joe Henderson on tenor, Duke Pearson on piano, Ron Carter on bass, and then Mickey Roker on drums. So it's like wicked lineup, and the good songs are really good, and the bad songs are kind of not badly played by any means, but the taste level isn't quite there. And weird cover too, a little bit creepy, but yeah. So I got this on eBay. It was a good price. I found out later after I bought it that this is one of the Blue Note records in the catalog that will not get the full analog reissue treatment because the tapes are missing or damaged. I'm not sure, but that's unfortunate, and makes me even more glad that I got an original before the prices inevitably go through the roof. But it's hard to say because this is a 1967 recording. I think it was recorded and pressed in 1967. So yeah, Duke Pearson. Wicked. Here's another one I got on eBay. The last one that I'll show from my eBay stuff. John Coltrane, Ohm. I think this was either his first or one of his first posthumous releases. So not really his release at all, I guess, but Impulse, had a bunch of tapes of his. So this was one of the first ones they issued against John Coltrane's will. The story goes that he didn't want this to be heard by anyone, and I can understand why. It's not very indicative of whatever else he was doing at that time. This is kind of a one-off in his catalog, but pretty cool nonetheless. It's trippy and it's pretty wild and free. And this is an original US pressing on Impulse. And I mean, this album's kind of legendary these days for the story, which is myth. I don't think it's ever been proven if John Coltrane and his band were on LSD during the making of this album. But you kind of got to mention that. Everyone seems to. Yeah. Good stuff. All right, keep going with the Impulse stuff. Let's go. Got this one in my local shop. Sam Rivers. This is the Dedication Series. Dedication Series Volume 7. And I believe with these, like, each numerical volume was a different artist. So there's like an Albert Ayler one. I think there's a few Coltrane ones. That's about all I know about this series. Late 70s. I think 78 was when this was issued, but it might have been recorded earlier. Sam Rivers, he does everything on this album. Not all the instruments, but he plays his entire kind of arsenal. Flute, I want to say, soprano and tenor, and then piano as well. This is pretty cool stuff. I've honestly only listened to this one once so far, but yeah, it's not too bad. Double album, and I don't know why I'm bothering to show you guys, but it's got the ABC Impulse label. You're only supposed to show the cool jazz labels, right? Not the Steely Dan ABC one. Anyways. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to hurry up now. I don't know how much space I have for video storage. All right, next. Got Smiley Winters. Did I say Smiley or did I say Slimy? Smiley Winters, Smiley, etc. That wasn't a joke, I actually thought I might have said Slimy there. Yeah, this is awesome free jazz from the 70s, maybe 69. I think it's 69. Yeah. There's the band. This dude's in a wheelchair, and that's pretty awesome. He just rips. Yeah, double album as well. Oh, you know what? I should have prefaced this record by saying something, but I'll show the label first. It's on Arhoolie Records. I have another Smiley Winters record that's on the same label, and it's also very cool. Anyways, there's a bit of a story behind this, and then the next few records. So, Salvation Army, they got a big collection in, and it was like pretty big. I want to say maybe around 7,000 to 10,000 records, and they had them all in the back like loading bay of the store, and yeah, they just started throwing them out onto the floor, in boxes, of course. And I was flipping through it, and like there's some pretty kind of cool stuff in there, and I'm thinking like, you know, like it's mostly like garbage. It's mostly like easy listening and jazz comps that don't look very good. You know, big band stuff. Not that the music isn't good, but the pressing quality is probably crap. Yeah, a lot of easy listening, not the good easy listening stuff. Country, not the good country. Thrift store stuff. And so, but then every once in a while there would be. Here, I'll try to find one. Yeah. Every once in a while I'd find something like, Bert Jansch. This is an American comp with like tracks from his first 2 UK albums. So yeah, like stuff like this, not like extremely expensive or rare or valuable or anything, but like it's good. And so I kept finding stuff like that, and then some jazz, some like Impulse reissues from the 80s and stuff like that, some Ella Fitzgerald. And they were putting out new stuff like every day or every few days. So I was going there, I was buying all sorts of like private press stuff, like where is that? I don't know where anything is, but found stuff like this, The Shadows, Dance On, good stuff, surf rock. Yeah, and so eventually, I was coming there so often that the lady asked if I wanted to go to the back and look through all these bags of stuff. And I was like, yeah. And so by bags, she really meant bags. They were mega bags or heli bags, these big totes that fit on a pallet basically, and they were just stacked full. There was probably 4 or 5 of them. And so yeah, I spent all day looking through them. Later, like a week later, they had more. They had another like 5 tote bags full. And I looked through those as well. So I'll just show like the kind of the best stuff. I found a lot of junk and a lot of kind of less exciting stuff, but yeah, Smiley Winters, found that in there. It's good. Some free jazz. But whoever's collection this was an absolute hoarder, I gotta say, because it was 99% garbage. Found this as well. Chappaqua Suite, Ornette Coleman. This is a UK pressing. I don't believe this was issued in the States. So yeah, it's on CBS. Another double album. And yeah, like CBS, awesome label. All the weird jazz stuff that I found was in really good shape, and all of the more kind of like common titles were the ones that were beat. So that worked perfectly for me. Okay, one of the last ones, more John Coltrane. This is, what is this one called? The Transition. I always want to call this Impressions, but that's the live album, isn't it? And yeah, this one had some issues with the record. It had the sticky stuff all over it, but I managed to clean it off. Just took some effort. But yeah, this is another posthumous Impulse. Really good. I enjoyed this one. Later 70s though, I want to say. Maybe not late 70s, but later on in the 70s. 73 or something like that. Yeah, good stuff. Then the last one is probably the big grail of the whole Salvation Army tote bag thing. Alice Coltrane, Huntington Ashram Monastery. Yeah, I was shocked to find this one here because this is was the only Alice Coltrane in the entire collection of thousands of records. And yeah, it's one of her harder albums to find, I'd say. And yeah, this is it's an early reissue, so it's not an original, but still quite the find. Yeah, I love this one. It's super good. Plays on this. I think Rashid Ali is on this one on drums. Yeah, and then Ron Carter on bass. So it's just a trio. Alice is playing piano and harp as usual. And yeah, this rocks. I think 68 was when this originally came out. 68 or 60, maybe 67? Because I want to say this is like maybe her second album on Impulse after the Monastic Trio album. But I could be wrong. But yeah, really awesome stuff. Awesome to find that. I think I paid $0 for this because just by virtue of me looking through all those records for those days, I ended up just helping them out and putting them all in boxes so they could put them out in the store without having to dig through all the records. So I kind of worked for my records in that case, so they just let me have them all. So I got some pretty good stuff for free. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I want to show for today. We're at 22 minutes. I still have a whole bunch more stuff to show, but I'll save that for another video. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching if you watched. Take it easy.